The evening was sinking into the wet asphalt when the rattle of an old engine broke the silence. The sound was uneven, each piston strike fighting not to die. The man riding that Harley had a metal leg that gleamed under the neon lights of the bar ahead. He could barely walk without support, but he did anyway, because pride weighed more than pain. Inside, laughter had already begun, sharp, cruel, and aimed straight at him. None of them knew that before the night was over, the roar of 100 bikes would drown those laughs forever. Stay till the end, because this story proves brotherhood is louder than fear.
His name was Mark Rivers, a war veteran and former member of the Steel Ravens. He had lost his leg years ago, trying to pull a brother out of the road during a storm. Since then, life had treated him with the same cold silence as the metal in his body. He lived alone, fixing old motorcycles in a shop that barely stood. That night, he decided to visit the Roadhouse Bar, a place where he once laughed with his brothers. He just wanted to feel part of something again, even if only for a drink. But times had changed. The young faces inside didn't know him, nor what those scars meant. When they saw him limping through the door, dragging that metal leg, the laughter started. One voice, then several. A group of cocky young men in clean leather jackets mocked his limp, stomping the floor in rhythm. And Mark, silent, just asked for a beer.
The bartender looked uneasy. The air grew thick, heavy with mockery. Mark didn't answer, just lit a cigarette and watched his reflection in the window. In his pocket, a worn leather charm with the Steel Ravens insignia, a reminder of the only family that ever had his back. One of the guys kicked his cane away and sneered. "What happened, old man? Fell off your trike?" The group burst out laughing. Mark's eyes didn't show anger, only exhaustion. Then, from a corner, a woman quietly filmed the scene. She didn't know that what she was recording would ignite something far bigger. That video spread fast, reaching eyes that hadn't forgotten who Mark Rivers was.
Miles away, a Harley engine came to life. Then another, and another. The message was simple. They disrespected Mark. No more words were needed. For the Steel Ravens, an insult to one was an insult to all. Engines started rumbling in different cities, a pulse of loyalty echoing through the night. Back in the bar, Mark sat quietly, carrying the weight of humiliation and the ghosts of his past. If you believe loyalty still has meaning, subscribe to Hell's Road, because stories like this are far from over. Around 10 o'clock, headlights began to fill the parking lot. 1, then 10, then 50. The ground shook with the synchronized growl of engines, deep, rhythmic, alive. The men who stepped off those bikes wore the same patch Mark once wore proudly, the Silver Raven. They carried their colors like armor, symbols of loyalty stitched in leather. You can carry that same spirit too. The official Hell's Road gear is linked below for those who live by the code. The bar fell silent when the door opened. The young men turned, confused. 50 bikers filled the doorway, silent, steady, eyes cold as iron. At the front was Reed, the club's new leader. He walked to Mark, helped him stand, and said, "Brother, the road never forgets its own." Mark looked down, fighting the tears. The ones who had mocked him said nothing. There was no violence, no shouting, only presence. Reed stepped closer to the loudest of them and spoke softly. Respect isn't earned by fear. It's built by actions. Learn that, or the road will teach you. The young man nodded, trembling, and for the first time in years, Mark felt he belonged again. When they left, the engines roared once more. The headlights lit Mark's face, and a faint smile crossed his lips. His metal leg reflected the moon. A scar turned silver, proof that even the broken can still move forward. Some roads lead to redemption, others to memory. If you want to keep the fire alive, the official Hell's Road store is linked below, where brotherhood lives beyond the story. Sometimes life takes your wheels away. Other times, it shows you who will push you when you can't ride anymore. That night, before turning off the lights, Mark placed his old pendant on the workbench, not as a goodbye, but as a promise. Outside, the sound of engines faded into the night, a prayer of steel and gasoline that never truly ends. Because true brotherhood never dies, it just finds a new road. This was one of many forgotten legends of the highway. Subscribe to Hell's Road and ride with us into the next story.